Hello, my name is Chris Riddles, and I'm here today to talk to you about how Hewlett-Packard Enterprise leverages MICROAPP capabilities within Citrix Workspace in collaboration focused on returning employees to offices. So my name, as I said, Chris Riddles. I work for HPE POINTNEXT Services. I'm a global solution architect. In particular, I focus on our intelligent workplace or smart building perspective. So I want to give you a bit of a description of the session today. We have used the out-the-box capabilities within Citrix Workspace to build some MICROAPPs, and from that, we're delivering some unique workflows within our intelligent workplace solution, and we've integrated those two. We've produced a set of MICROAPPs that focus on the following areas. So employee wellness, whereby we allow our employees to complete health agreements and self-certify, as it were, that they're not suffering any symptoms. That's then fed into a record management system. And then things like enforcing social distancing, so giving the employees access to maps and occupancy information so they can make informed decisions about where they work, and allowing employees to book those conference rooms, hot desks, the spaces in which they're going to do the work in a socially distanced way. When it comes to workplace safety, our workflow is such that if a meeting room or space is booked, we keep that space booked until such time as the cleaning team, the facilities team, have been across and confirmed that that space has been cleaned. Finally, on workplace PPE, clearly at this particular point in time, everyone's very, very focused on making sure that they're safe, they're washing their hands regularly, and they have access to appropriate PPE. So providing a simple MICROAPP which gives access to a map and shows where that is really important. So this session will go through all of those MICROAPPs, and also we will go into a little bit of detail about what we've learned as HPE whilst developing those MICROAPPs. Let me give you a little bit of context about HPE POINTNEXT Services and Citrix, how we're working together. So POINTNEXT Services is a market leader in global digital workplace services, and that's according to a 2020 IDC survey. We have capabilities across advisory and design. We have professional services, so the advisory capabilities allow us to assess and work with you as a customer to help understand your business challenges. Professional services then would enable us to deploy services aligned with that assessment. Managed deployment, managed services, clearly you can simply hand over the deployment and management and ongoing support of a solution to us. And we also offer blended management of change, user communication, user training to support deployment of all sorts of different technology products and solutions. We're working with Citrix clearly as a market leader in that client vert capability, and the Citrix Workspace product is really revolutionizing that workspace capability. Clearly, with Workspace, we're enabling customers to work from anywhere with access to a unified workspace. Virtual apps and desktop employee experience is really steps ahead of the competition. And the collaboration is really focused on our solution, Intelligent Spaces, and Citrix Workspace. They're both focused on the needs of the employee and driving an increase in productivity. So the integration, we feel, really shows that we're two companies working together, helping you as a business get through this difficult time. So now I've spoken about who we are. let's look at a high-level understanding of business challenges that almost everyone is facing right now. So every business out there has cost challenges and need to manage their budgets now more than ever. And clearly the physical workplace is quite a costly environment in its own right. So managing the cost of that, especially during times whereby that workplace may be closed or may have way lower capacity than it once had, or the business may want to use it in a different way, that's a real focus for our customers right now. And what you'll notice with these challenges here is that I've just spoken about probably the only one that's focused on the building itself. The other three listed are really focused on the employees. And I think that's really important, because although the workplace where we go to do and get our work done is important, we need to focus on the individual to help us really understand how that workplace is being used and how we can use technology to make it work better for the business unit that occupies it. So clearly, every employee wants to have engaged and enabled employees. Right now, more than ever, they want to make sure that those employees are feeling safe when we're returning to the workplace. It's potentially a concerning time. I've been working from home for months myself, and were I told that I absolutely have to go back into the office, I'd be a very worried person, and I'd want to be in receipt of lots and lots of clear communication and tools that allow me to make informed choices about how I'm going to interact with that physical workplace. And then finally, I think every business is looking at attracting and retaining the right talent to support their business needs. Now, as I said, solutions like this are really focused on the needs of the employees. If I look for a second at the example of many of our own homes having some level of smart technology within them, then my preferences about heating, lighting, music, entertainment, all of those things in many homes have an increasing level of automation, which drives my comfort and drives my ability to know that when I get home, my home is behaving the way that I want. I'm immediately more comfortable with the lighting turned on when it's dark and the heating set to a comfortable level. But if I look at the business environment, all of these technologies exist in the home, but they rarely translate. And we're missing a trick there, because if we consider an employee's attributes, their identity, their role, give them access to the right tools based on those things, but also build in some of those preferences, then you're going to end up with more comfortable and then employees with quicker routes to productivity. So that's really giving them a contextual working ecosystem. And the important thing is that that must span the physical and the digital. Now, clearly, when you deploy any employee based solution, you really need to be telling your employees about it. That's why POINTNEXT capability around management of change and employee end user training is really, really important. These smart building capabilities can feel quite impenetrable. For instance, again, if I come back to the home, I may not know your wake word for your smart assistant. I may not know its capabilities. I know that in my house, I use one of the more common Amazon flavors, and I know that I can tell it about the lights, I can tell it about the TV. But every home is different, and no one has a little placard or training program as they enter their house of, hey, this is how you interact with my smart house. It's really important to bring that into the workplace, because the workplace, especially now, has a level of transience when it comes to how employees make use of that space. So Now switching away from the employee and talking tech, which feels very natural for myself working for a technology company. These then are the building blocks of a smarter digital workplace. So it's all very well and good having a lovely architectural layout, open working spaces, bookable desks, focus areas, all of the things that we're used to seeing in our buildings. But if I don't have connectivity, if I don't have a secure data experience and access to the tool that I need, then that's wasted investment. So having secure, pervasive access is really, really important. Clearly, when you're talking to us at HPE, the Aruba portfolio within HPE can talk to all of those points. We also work with a number of partners, Citrix of course included, but in the middle of the slide here you can see a company's logo called Chargify. So they have partnered with us on smart power, and that really comes to a bit of a focus at the moment of providing a contactless or a touchless experience in the workplace. Interacting with the workplace obviously involves physically touching things, which is something that people are perhaps more concerned about at the moment. Clearly, as I work down the middle of the diagram here, we need to be providing some analytics to consider what the ROI of a solution like this is over time. We need to be looking at the usage of the building, you're looking at the usage of the tools and understanding, does this meet the needs of the business? Are we driving the savings that we're looking to drive with this? As I said, this is very much a blend of physical and digital because obviously Citrix Workspace, usually a productivity tool aggregator, but with this integration, we're really allowing employees to have that one place to go for all of their productivity needs, anywhere, any device, anytime, but this allows them to branch out as they start returning back to the office. So they're going to Workspace, which they're comfortable with anyway, while they've been working from home. That's probably been their landing point on whatever device they've been using. And now we're bridging out and returning to the physical. And so they're going to be comfortable going to that Citrix Workspace app, get some new MICROAPPs deployed to them that allow them to safely interact with the smarter digital building. So then, what is the solution? What is HPE Intelligent Spaces? I believe that employees really actively want technology to work for them whenever they're in the workplace, always helping them to stay safe, but also be as productive as possible. So the solution then is a smart mobile interaction, or the capability for a smart mobile interaction with the physical workspace. Much like you would at home, but clearly with a work-based skew on that. We allow employees to articulate the following very easy to ask questions, but actually with the diverse number of tools that we all have access to, they're actually kind of hard to figure out answers to. So find me the location of some stuff, whether that's an available space or perhaps a colleague or whatever it may be. Notify me when I've got visitors on site, book conference rooms, how do I get places, where can I charge my mobile device, am I receiving alerts about what's going on in the workplace at this time? So the solution then maps those questions against the following capabilities. So integrations with desk hoteling, room scheduling, visitor management, it has employee alerts, it's got that location context to give the ability to show where things are, etc. And the important thing, I believe, is exposing all of that in one place to go and aggregating all of those different services at a cloud layer, but presenting one access portal for the users. And in deploying these technologies, we've found that you can drive space efficiency, you can help understand the business use of a building, you can optimize some of that business use by having other tools that might ask for meeting room check-in and all sorts of different things like that. You're able to incentivize behavior of employees and kind of guide them through how you want to interact with the smarter digital workplace. None of this replaces any of the tools that you have in place. We are providing a point of aggregation and a point of one place to go for the employee in Citrix Workspace, not only to have their productivity tools and the ability to get their work done wherever they need, but also really focusing on how they come back into the building. So as I said, super focused on safety. So what are those use cases? Let me give you a bit of a recap. I know we covered it in the introduction, but I want to go into a little bit more detail. So when we talk about employee wellness, that's really the ability to complete a health agreement stating that you have no symptoms prior to entering the office. That's a really key requirement from a number of our customers, and it's something that we're hearing time and time again. The ability to have a record of that and be able to report on it and so forth is really important to our customers. Then when it comes to smart social distancing and wellness, that is that location context that I've kept coming back to, but overlaid with some useful information. So adding occupancy information allows employees to make an informed choice about where they may wish to conduct their work. About workplace safety. Well, if I've got employees coming back into the building, I need to be really on it with my facilities teams to make sure that they are cleaning the right areas, cleaning regularly, cleaning perhaps even to a higher standard in specific ways than we were maybe used to previously. Then workplace PPE and wellness. The ability to locate that hand sanitizer or that replacement mask or whatever it may be, it's really, really important right now. So again, bringing some of that location context from the physical into Citrix Workspace, really, really valuable. Next up, smart social distancing. So booking spaces, but in an appropriate manner. As I said with the workflow about making sure spaces are cleaned in workplace safety, those spaces are only marked as bookable when we are confident that they've been cleaned. So that's how we're able to have smart social distancing. We're also able to denote A/B desking and things like that, for instance. Now, let me give you a little bit of data to help support the production of these MICROAPP use cases. So from our perspective, and I think quite widely recognized, there's a number of stages to the current pandemic, and we're going across from crisis management all the way through to the new normal. Now, when it came to crisis management, that was when everyone was sent home. And here in the UK, a number of people were furloughed, so asked not to work and paid by the government instead, as employers scrambled to get remote working capabilities stood up and there to support a new, very different dynamic. As POINTNEXT, we have services and capabilities to support all of those remote working needs. So we've been helping customers throughout these stages. I think personally we're kind of flicking between stage 2 and stage 3 at the moment, because some of those rules are being updated. The situation is potentially changing on a daily, sometimes hourly basis. So as we transition back into what we're widely calling in industry the new normal, we need to figure out how to operate in that new normal. But clearly, if the rules change, if the structure of the new normal state changes, then we may need to go back and do some of that assessment again. So that gives us the stages that we're working through. Now I have some numbers really backing up the need for some of the use cases that are jointly deployed. These numbers are from a survey conducted within Citrix. 70% of employees in this survey said that they don't feel comfortable returning to the office without proper safety measures in place. So that's a huge percentage of employees that are deeply concerned about returning to the office and what that means, how they interact with those physical services, etc. 51% of employees in this survey stated that they wanted regular testing and screening. 46% looking to see an effective vaccine, and 82% looking for contact tracing measures. Now, clearly, the microapps don't address everything here. We're never going to be able to solve the pandemic with just one approach, but we are talking to the employee feeling of safety and the need for enhanced communication at this stage, especially when interacting with a place that many will be concerned when they return to. So now I want to walk you all through a day in the life interacting with this combined solution. I've highlighted in particular, I'm going to show you screenshots of the integrations with Citrix Workspace. Where you see a non-Citrix Workspace logo, that is the wider HPE solution, and some of those touch points are not currently available as microapps, but it's something we're of course continually looking at based on the needs of our customers. So if I start off my day as an employee, I'm going to go ahead and create complete a health agreement. So that, in this case, up on my laptop at home, I'm completing it before I jump on the train or get in the car on the way to the office. I select the site that I'm looking to attend today. I'll be presented with some up-to-date information about the status of that site. And then I'll go ahead and fill in a couple of questions stating that I've got no current symptoms, I don't live with anyone with symptoms or anything like that. These microapps are clearly tunable per customer, and the framework that we've put in place is there to give customers a good example based on our own experiences. Now, I've not shown it in the screenshots, but what the employee would get as an output from completing this survey is an item in their activity feed. They'd also receive an email, and within that activity feed, they would get a colored square or logo or colored output, which is being pre-communicated to the security staff working on reception at the building. So in a nice socially distanced manner, the employees that have completed their health survey ahead of time are able to show that off. The security staff will know that today is we're looking for a blue square or a blue logo, and they will be able to judge that at a glance rather than looking at the detailed output of a particular survey. Now moving on, I've sort of come into the office and I'm looking at a view of the building, trying to figure out where people are sitting, trying to get some indication of where I might want to sit in order to conduct my work. So this time I'm showing it on the mobile interface. Again, I'm selecting the site that I'm inhabiting, and that gives employees the ability to go ahead and look at that ahead of time, make informed decisions before they even enter the building. And then select that building, the floor, and you can see here the occupancy overall of the building itself, and then of a particular floor. You can see in this case, this first floor is completely subscribed, and that limit can be defined by the organization's real estate teams, taking account for all of the safety measures, social distancing that they might want to put in place. And they could even potentially vary it per day. The employee is simply seeing a percentage of what the organization feels is appropriate. So now I've picked a place to put my stuff down, a desk to work at. In this day in the life, I've got some visitors coming to join me in a socially distanced manner, and I need to book a space in order to have a meeting with them. Now, clearly, I could do that in Outlook, Exchange, other tools that I may have for room booking, but I've got this fantastic portal that gives me access to all of the tools that I need to get my job done. Why wouldn't I be going there first to look how to interact with the building as well? So in this case, again, showing the mobile app, very, very simple view. We simply, as an employee, select the times that I wish to conduct this meeting, survey our back-end system to get a list of available rooms, pick a room that meets my needs, and then fill in any details in order to book the space. Nice and simple, very similar to the workflow that you've got in other tools, but bringing that into Citrix Workspace as the one place to go. Now, here's where it starts getting interesting. Our meeting ends, whether that be through me checking out using a third-party system like Robin or Team, and then the facilities team are notified. This also occurs when the meeting booking comes to an end just naturally. If I've booked for an hour, then they get notified at that time if there wasn't a checkout event. So when that facilities team get notified, what we've done is we've built them a MICROAPP to allow them to come in and, in a auditable fashion, list what has been interacted with and cleaned on this given occasion to make it safe for employees to come back to work. Once that room is cleaned, then they can the business is then able to book that again. What's interesting is you can see here you got the view history button, so the cleaner can go back and see what's been cleaned over time and interact with that, clean that space in an appropriate manner. Now, as I continue to move through my day with collaboration tools, productivity tools, as I need to get my job done, it's getting to that sort of time of day where I'm reminding myself I need to find a hand sanitization point. I might need to change my face mask, whatever it is. Again, bringing in that location context into the Citrix Workspace environment. So this time I'm going to go ahead and load up a MICROAPP and look for the nearest hand sanitizer point. Again, showing the mobile view, I'm able to select the building, the floor on which I'm sat, and then in this view, you can see I've got multiple filters or selections to drive what I can see. So I'm looking for PPE, I'm looking for sanitization stations, I'm going to head over, wash my hands, and grab a new mask. And that really kind of wraps up my day in the life across those MICROAPPs. As I've been saying throughout, the focus of deploying these MICROAPPs is to take the Citrix Workspace product, which already, from an employee perspective, gives me access to my local and mobile apps, to my SaaS apps, all the desktop environments that I might need to get to get my job done, the data as well. It now brings in that physical context, which is so important as we move into this new normal. So from an employee perspective, that brings together the same look and feel that you've gotten used to with Citrix Workspace already. We have all of the actions deployed as microapps, so that's the employee's ability to interact with the Smarter Digital building, and then the activity feed. And you can actually see here that you have that health pass in the top there, the blue square, and that's from an employee that has previously filled out that health survey prior to entering the workplace. It's really important and a general value proposition of the Citrix Workspace solution is that the ability to interact with actions, activity feeds, you get a consistent experience anywhere, any device, and so I've included the screenshots here to show that we're really living with the ethos of the Workspace product here in deploying these microapps. Now, when it comes to our architecture, what we're bringing to the table, I just wanted to walk you through this diagram. So starting at the top on the left-hand side here, as I've said, we're using the MICROAPP service and the integration service and the notification service. And that is connected up to our middleware layer. Before I leave this top box, the use cases on the right-hand side are kind of our output from those integrations and microapps. Now, our middleware layer, we utilize Microsoft Azure, and sat in there, we have API gateways, we have content management, we can pull in data from all sorts of different things, and we have a whole bunch of dashboarding and capability to show content managers what's going on in a given space. As part of the content management system, that's where we can issue employee alerts, all sorts of things like that. The reason that we have this aggregation layer in Azure is so that we can map off to different backend services. So I don't mind if one of your buildings utilizes a third-party room booking system like Team, and another one might use Robin, because I can still provide that consistent one place to go experience because we aggregate at this middleware layer. When it comes to location services, clearly we utilize Aruba Meridian, although architecturally the system is designed that we can switch to other ones if you have other preferences, but we have a very, very close relationship with the Aruba team, as you might imagine. When it comes to the kind of purple side of things here, integrating with building management, HPE also has other products in this space. So we have a range of servers called Edgeline, and they are special hardened use case devices that in one particular case, the EL300, is designed to connect to all sorts of different IoT systems and really act as a universal translation engine. So that would then pump its data through our API gateway, and we could combine that with data from the system of record, so Exchange, with data from that room booking system, say Team or Robin, and provide really engaging dashboards for the facilities team, for the real estate team, to get a true view of how the building is being used by the business. Now, I did promise you, I know we're in a developer-focused conference here, that I'd give you some highlights on our microapp development journey. We've been through this a number of times. We've been working with Citrix for a very long time with the Workspace product, and we develop a large number of microapps for our customers as well. So I asked the lead developers that I work with to give me a quote that I could frame up on a slide. And from their perspective, this is really an excellent tool set. It's nice and simple, so we can drive quick employee interactions that save time in a relatively easy to develop environment. Certainly when it comes to binding to our APIs that sit in that middleware layer that I referred to, that integration has been nice and quick and easy. So in my developer colleagues' professional opinion, they say that this is really a 5-star solution. Now, I want to offer a couple of workarounds and a couple of things that we've had to become aware of when deploying these integrations. And I'll start really at the integration layer itself. What certainly some of my developers were very used to is developing in native apps, whether that's for mobile devices or for desktop platforms, and they're able to take output from a web platform or a backend and provide a really detailed response. So, for instance, if I get an HTTP 410, 420, or unauthorized or unavailable or whatever, I can present a really detailed response to the users. Inside Workspace as it stands, there is not necessarily that path. So the way that you may work around that is have multiple pages in a MICROAPP, or have the ability for employees to provide partial data input and then push a button to obtain the rest of the information needed for them to complete the MICROAPP steps. When it comes to the MICROAPP builder itself, as I said, very complete, but also simplistic UI. So the challenge there is more of a mental one from a design perspective. When you're considering deploying MICROAPPs, you need to really think about the user experience in the context of the builder. So we're not able, as perhaps developers are used to, build very complex, multiple interaction points, workflows in the MICROAPP builder. We have to really consider within the constraints that are there, the steps that a user must take. So that design process is really, really important. However, at the end of the day, this is a cross-platform, extendable, quick way for us to get simplified interactions out to our employees and add some value into the Citrix Workspace product, which employees are going to day one anyway as their primary place for productivity tools. And so bringing them access to the smarter digital building is something that we really believe drives value. Now, as I wrap up, I want to talk about all of the value that HPE and Citrix partner to give. I've clearly been focused on kind of a back to office in the COVID-19 world talk with you today, but we work with Microsoft, Citrix, and we have all of these triangulated solutions, including custom MICROAPP development with Citrix Workspace. And clearly, we support the client virtualization run rate that many of our customers will continue to need as this pandemic continues on. So from an HPE perspective, we've got the services capability with people like myself and my numerous employees. We have that infrastructure, we have the connectivity, and we have the experience at IoT as well. From a Citrix perspective, we look to utilize Citrix Workspace as much as possible and clearly pull through Citrix Cloud there as well. And when it comes to next steps, if you're interested, you want to learn more, you want to hear about how we can help you, whether it's on these MICROAPPs or have some custom ones developed, and we can help take you through workshops, etc., to understand your business needs, please get in contact with your HPE or Citrix sales representative, and they will absolutely help you learn more about this partnership, how we can help you together to navigate that new normal. As I said, we've got capabilities around custom MICROAPP development, but it's really important when we're going through the workshops and evaluation work to help understand what MICROAPPs you need to engage the right stakeholders. It's never more important than right now with this back to office focus to engage those stakeholders. IT, real estate, HR, business unit functions, they'll all have a view on how their particular employees want to or need to respond to this. Finally, there's a whole bunch of blogs and content already available on the web for this. Take a look around and read up yourself if you so wish. So at this point, I want to say thank you very much for listening. I hope this has been an engaging session. Please give me some feedback via the toolset, and I look forward to hearing from you in the future. Have a wonderful day.